Shelley Hofberg is a clairvoyant, medium, pet psychic, and tarot reader. She does not ask for the details about your life, but primarily relies on her gift of clairvoyance to receive the psychic insights that will be the most helpful to you about your soulmate, relationships, money concerns, and your career path. As a pet psychic, she will receive insights about what your pet or pets wants you to know. As a medium, she will connect with your loved ones on the other side. Shelley Hofberg is the host of the Psychic Horizon radio show, produced by Goldilocks Productions and presented on Blog Talk Radio, Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Shelley brings together the pioneers and visionary teachers to share with you some of the most enlightening knowledge that is out there today, to expand your horizons and open the paths to higher consciousness.
Welcome to the Psychic Horizon Show. I'm your host, Psychic Shelley Hofberg. And today's guest is Lucinda Collis. She is one of the co-founders of BOTI Studios in Anaheim, California. And she's going to be having a psychic fair on April 20th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'm going to be there. And I'm also going to be at the Spiritual Living Expo on April 13th at the Marriott Hotel in Burbank from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And at the Museum of Women, also put on by the Spiritual Living Expo, on May 4th and June 6th. And this evening, I'm going to be at the FABRIQUE. It's a metaphysical gift store in Belmont Shores, and they're having what's called the Psychic Roundtable, and there's going to be psychics there. And the readings are by donation only. So if you're anywhere near the Belmont Shore Belmont Shore area, come on down. I'd love to meet you. I'm now ready to bring on my guest, Lucinda. Hello, Lucinda.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing very well, Shelley. Thank you so much for inviting me to your show.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm finally glad, I was able to get you on. And Lucinda,
Yes,
can you tell the callers about yourself?
Sure, no problem. My name is Lucinda, and I'm a very gifted voice channel intuitive. I do energy work with a variety of modalities, and I love doing readings. So I'm here to share my gifts with your public.
And Lucinda, how does one read? I understand you do crystals and tarot also. How does one read crystals?
Okay, so for me, crystal reading is very natural because I used to play in the mud as a child, right? And with that, I had a deep connection to the earth. I'm an earth sign. I'm a Taurus. And because of all of that and the way the earth speaks to me, I'm able to communicate with crystals. And I communicate on a variety of levels, but it feels very energetic. When I first started, I wasn't really sure that anybody else could do what I was doing, but I thought everybody had access. So it was interesting to watch as it evolved through learning what the different properties are, how they apply. You can use them in healing. You can use them in readings because a lot of times your intuition will draw you toward a crystal. You look for the properties in the crystal, and it usually speaks to the reason that the individual is there for the reading. So if you have, and color coordination is a lot with it. So if you have something that coordinates with a certain chakra, the chakra is usually where their issue is, and you're able to intuitively guide them through counseling and application of what the crystal properties are to a happy outcome.
Oh, that's interesting. And let's take our first caller, which is area code 201.
Hi.
Okay, great. Hi.
Hi, this is Rose.
Hello.
Hi, this is Rose.
Hi, Rose. And Rose, how can we help you today?
Well, I am calling because I've been actively seeking work, and I hope to find a job soon. And I'm hoping that you tell me what you see.
Do you see anything for Rose?
Would you like me to do with that? Sure.
Yes.
Would you like for me to go ahead and field the calls that way?
Yes.
Oh, okay, no problem. Okay, so Rose, what I got was that there is like a little reluctance on your part because you're indecisive about where it is that you want to be. And so instead of looking for a job because there's desperation, you're unable to bring that forward toward yourself because you feel like you're undeserving sometimes. It's not a bad thing. It's just understanding your position in the situation. So how long has it been since you have been searching for work?
Oh, about 3 months.
Right, and 3 months starts to feel a little desperate, right? You have bills to pay, things are piling up. There's a lot of stagnant energy that's around you, right? To where like there's no movement. So what you need to do is you need to provide yourself with a little bit of space, okay? And how you can do that is there's a list that you can make. You can make lists of 50 things or 50 ways that you're willing to make money, like a garage sale, pawn shops, your savings. You access like a lot of things, all right? But you want to give yourself that change and shift in possibility so that way when you go to the next interview, they're not hiring you, you're hiring them, because there's a lot of attributes that I see that you have. It looks like you're very organized. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so because you're organized, you have great organizational skills, so you'd be an asset to any facility or corporation or wherever it is that you would like to be, because they need that. Everybody needs that. They need a little bit of security, knowing where things are, what to do next, guidance. And so it seems as though you have a lot of guidance skills as well. Do you do counseling for other people as well?
No.
Do people come to you a lot for, do people come to you a lot for advice?
No, I'm just confident in my skills. I've had the same career for many years, and I'm a very reliable, responsible person, but where I live is a densely populated area, and there are so many people applying for the same job, which is what's holding me back, and I'm not equipped to move at the present time, so I just have to keep going forward and hope that I find something soon.
Right. And so what type of work is it that you do?
I do office work.
Okay, so office work. And because there's no specific, that's what I'm reading right now, is that there's no specific. So what that does is that doesn't, it doesn't necessarily mark a course for you. It seems as though it would broaden the field for you, but you've already filled the field with other people by saying that there's many people out there that are either better qualified or more likely to get. So what I want to do is I want to shift.
Career. It's just where I live, there are a lot of people. And I'm not saying that I'm not good enough or anything like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. That wasn't what I meant. It's what happens is the energetic field hears that response. Okay? And the response could be a little bit more, I want to encourage you to step into your power a little bit more. It feels a little subjective. Now, it doesn't mean that that is your natural way, okay? What it means is that that's just what your offering is currently. And you can shift that. And so what I'll invite you to do is to, the last time that you were at work, the best day that you had, can you reach for that feeling?
Okay.
Just that emotion, Like, what did it look like? Did you go in and coffee was made and you had your desk was cleared? You got to kind of pick and choose, like, the things that you worked on. Everything was smooth sailing. Everything's going really well. So see how that energy is? See how that feels right there? You were in your power in that moment, okay? And so what I'm suggesting is to meditate and pull that energy in and apply that. Now, as far as a job goes, right, okay, I'm going to pull some cards for you. Is that all right?
Oh, thank you.
Sure, no problem. I do see that you will be getting employment. I don't have a when for you because there's been some setbacks regarding interviews that you've had. Is that correct?
I haven't had much. I've had a couple of phone interviews, but they haven't led to any face-to-face interviews.
Right, and that's affecting your creativity, right? And so you're in this spiritual lesson right now of balance. So you're looking to really trust and rely and have faith in spirit, but also listen to inspired messages that you're receiving. And do you do meditation?
Yes.
Okay, so in your meditations, are you asking a question prior to?
Like what?
Like you can ask, because what meditation is it's receiving answers, right? And what you do is you just write a question. When will I get a job? Or what does my new job look like? Because the expectation's already there. I can see that you will be employed. It's not a question of whether that will happen or not. It's when for you, because you're feeling that turmoil over it. But the cards that I pulled are the sacral chakra, so that leads me to believe that you're being very creative in your searches. And that means that you're broadening the scope of what you're able to apply for, which is really good. And the balance that you're looking for needs to not only meet your financial needs, but your spiritual needs as well. And what the most likely outcome is that you're stepping into this action of faith, knowing and trusting that it's going to be there. So rather than asking when will it happen, ask what does it look like. Then that way the focus changes on not having right now, and it focuses on bringing in what you'd like, right? So when you're meditating, if you were to say, okay, show me what it looks like, and then you slip into your meditation, and as they fill it in with an imagination, right, or a vision, then you get to go ahead and create that goal orientation, and the energy shifts for you. And you'll find that when you're walking into businesses, you'll see and feel that alignment. You know, the way when you walk into a place and it feels like really good and everything's on point, or you walk into a place and it's kind of like, I don't want to be here. You'll see that alignment for yourself. You'll be able to pick up the phone. There's intuition that's coming your way in abundance, which is really good.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
Rose, I have seen you getting a job, around computers, but it's in a different environment. It's not an office environment. This is actually a home or a center for mentally retarded adults. They live in a facility. They have 24-hour care. There's people, caretakers there that take care of them. And you would be hired to work in the office, doing the computer, and you also would be answering, calls, and setting up appointments, I would say it could be medical because they have but it's mental health. And it does look like it would be a permanent job, a long-term employment for you. And, because it's a responsible job, it looks like there's an office and I think you would be the only, you and another person would be in the office together. And it does look like it would, be a good paying job. That it looks like that the money that you receive would be better. You would make a better income. Mm-hmm. I feel that it might be around 30 to 45 minutes from where you live. It's kind of more in a suburb area. Do you live anywhere near the suburbs?
No, I live in the city.
I feel it's more in the suburbs, that where it's located. But I don't feel it's that far from where you live. And it's a good job, and it feels that it's going to be, although it's an office type work, that it's something that could lead. It's something that could lead to a career change for you. That you might get more into, as a result of working here. You'll want to have a job where you're working more, helping people, a job where you're helping people. So it could lead to you changing careers and getting into helping people. And I feel that you're good at office work, but I feel doing something involving with helping people would be good for you, that this would be good for you. Okay. And I feel that maybe 3 or 4 months after you take the job, that you would be relocating. You would be moving to be closer to the job. So it does look like that there's going to be a move this year for you. And do you have like a small dog or a cat around you?
No.
Are you thinking of getting one?
No.
Oh, okay. Is there someone in the family that has a pet?
No.
Oh, okay. And Lucinda, how can Rose get in contact with you?
You can call me at 714-220-8351 or at our website, BOTI Studios, BOTI Studios.com. Rose, I also feel that you're going to have choices. So, and when Shelley was bringing in the vision of that, I did see a small office. Do you do medical billing or medical insurance? Have you ever been in the medical support industry?
No, I don't. I work in financial services, but I am presently volunteering in a small community center, which is probably you picked up before, and it's helping people with tax preparation, and
nice.
I absolutely love it, but tax season's over, so.
Right. Yeah, and so, it looks like, so when she was talking about, like, the style of a work that it might be, it brought to mind, like, psychologists, right? Like a group of psychologists that you could possibly work for, and you would be, like, their sole support system. It looks like a small conglomerate, but they would pay you well. I don't know about the suburbs. I don't know if it's in the city, but I do know that there's choices that will be presented to you. So you may not want to jump on the very first one, but definitely more than one choice is coming your way.
Great.
And I'm being told don't give up. Yeah, really good. Really good.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Thank you for calling, Rose.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. I'm now going to continue my interview with Lucinda Collis. How did you develop clairsentient, Lucinda?
ClairEssence. ClairEssence.
Well, sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
It was interesting because there are some online definitions that are close, but the energy is a little bit broader than what the terms that I've found. It does deal with all of the clairs, all right? So it heightens your clair awareness. So your sight, your knowing, your intuitive skills, obviously, your the way that you feel, how your emotions and your indicators. But how it came about was that through lots of conversations with Spirit, I finally decided that I would commit to doing what I do. And when I did, more came through. And then I was guided to do a meditation. And when I did the meditation, I pulled through this incredible energy. And it wasn't the first time that it had come, but it was a way to be able to pull the energy through, to bring it through to this manifestation, because the energy's always been there. It's not a brand new energy. It's like from creation. All right, so it feels evolutionary, and at first it was like so fast moving that it was difficult to define. And so what it is it's just a let's see. So I would call it evolutionary energy. So it's constantly changing and evolving. It's very productive, so it's manifestational, but it comes from a place of unconditional love beyond creation, and it's really good. So I would say it comes from all that is.
Awesome. Well, let's take our next caller, Lucinda, which is area code 562. Hello, 562.
Hi, this is Yvonne.
Hi, Yvonne. And Yvonne,
Hi,
how can we help you?
Okay, my question is, do you see me receiving my SSI benefits?
This is something that you've been working on for quite a while. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And so I'm getting the word court. Have you been to court over it yet?
No, I'm supposed to go to the court coming up pretty soon.
Okay, so you're looking to see whether or not the judgment will rule in your favor. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and so there is I'm feeling a little resistance, but it is coming. It's coming not from the court or the SSI provider. It feels like it's coming more from you, as if you're not sure. There's this. Do you feel undeserving?
No. I just.
Do you feel other
just
people
not
are
sure.
more deserving? That's probably more accurate. Do you feel like other people deserve it more than you?
Oh, yes. That's probably what you're picking up.
Right. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is to practice receiving. Sometimes it's very difficult for us to really allow something to come into our manifestation, because we can see the need for others, because we're conditioned to do for others in a service orientation on a regular basis. Yet it's almost like being in an airplane that loses cabin pressure and the oxygen mask drops, right? You put the oxygen mask on others, but then you lose consciousness rather quickly. So you're only able to save a few. Whereas you put the oxygen mask on yourself first, you can save many. That's the difference. So I would like for you to begin understanding that you wouldn't be in the position that you're in right now unless you were deserving of it, unless it was meant for you. It's not like you're trying to scam anybody or anything like that. In fact, you're not even asking for what the total worth is for it. You're allowing them to determine it. But it feels like you've hit this space and you don't know if it's going to work. So I'll invite you to allow it to be present, to come through, right? And then in that, so this is a long-term sort of situation for you. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And is it so? Like, rather than ask you a question, I'll tell you what it is. That information that I'm receiving. It seems as though part of it is that on the outside, you look, for all intents and purposes, your appearance is perfectly fine, but it's an inside thing that you're working on with this. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so it's difficult to convince people where you're at when it's coming from the inside, because it's a very vulnerable position. And so let's pull a card to see. All right, and so you're having emotions, right? But also it looks like there's a new beginning for you that's coming. And so I would say yes, it's going to rule in your favor confidently.
Okay, great.
Simply because of that shift that you just made.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah. Yep, just nurture yourself. There's going to be new, you have like a double yes, and it looks really good for you.
Yvonne, I'm not only seeing you getting SSI benefits, but I'm also seeing that you may qualify for Section 8 as a result of getting onto SSI benefits, because it doesn't look like you're working, and it does look like that there's a condition that you may have, and that you would qualify for Section 8, which means that they would pay for 30% of your housing. So,
I have a question about that since you brought that up. I have been on the Section 8 waiting list for Long Beach, California for 3 years now. Do you see me ever receiving the full getting in there and getting an apartment from them?
I do feel that. Yeah, because I'm really seeing you being on Section 8. I feel that, it's possible that before the end of the year that they would contact you and that you would be going down there, to meet a caseworker and bringing all your financial statements, because they usually require financial information. And so I feel it's going to be this year that you're going to be able to get in there, and that you'll be able to get a voucher to find available housing on Section 8.
Okay, great.
And
thank you.
what part of Long Beach?
Yes, she's right.
What part of Long Beach do you?
For sure.
Yeah, what part of Long Beach do you live in?
West Long Beach area, West Side Long Beach, they call it.
Yeah, I'm in Long Beach too. I'm in downtown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you are going to get Section 8, and you are going to get SSI.
Oh, okay, great.
And if you're anywhere near Belmont Shores, I'm going to be at FABRIQUE. It's a metaphysical gift store in Belmont Shores, and on the first Thursday of the month they have psychics, and it's donation only. And Lucinda also has a psychic fair, coming up on April 20th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's a really good fair.
Over in Anaheim.
Yeah, over in Anaheim. If you have transportation, you might want to check out her fair too. And Lucinda, how can Yvonne get in contact with you?
You can contact me through our website, BOTI Studios, BOTIStudios.com. And the store that Shelley is talking about is called Z Fabrique. And it's a really nice metaphysical place, but they have a good setup for the Thursday that she's talking about.
Thank you, Lucinda. And Yvonne, you could get a hold of me at 818-744-5241 or go to PsychicHorizon.com.
Okay, thank you so much, you guys.
And then also I do see you moving, so that is going to come.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Lucinda.
Yeah, you were here from Section 8.
Okay.
Thank you, Yvonne. And thank you, dear. I'm now going to continue my interview with Lucinda Collis, and then we're going to take our next caller, which is area code 509. What is BOTI Studios, Lucinda?
BOTI Studios, and it's
BOTI. I'm sorry about that.
No, why? That's fine. Yeah. You get called Bowtie, Booty, all kinds, but that's okay. Yeah, so it's more than okay. As long as you spell it correctly, everything's okay. The name is an acronym for body is beautiful on the inside. So that's why we pronounce it BOTI. But, BOTI is fine. And what is it? It's many things, but mostly it's a community event center for holistic and metaphysical practices. So as you said, we have the psychic fair, but we also do classes and then we do events. So we have like a selenite sword event coming up at the last part of April, and that'll be 3 gifted individuals. They'll be doing Egyptian energy, Lemurian, and Atlantean energy. So that'll be really, really cool. And then we have a mindfulness life program that is an accredited program. So if you want a continuing education course credit, you'd be able to attend that. And that starts tonight. That's with tarot. And so, you know, we have a wide variety of practices. My business partner is a certified hypnotherapist. We have Dr. Tara Rasta. She does NSA, which is Network Spinal Analysis. Energetic adjustment chiropractor is what she does. And then I'm a gifted psychic and reader. I also do energy work. And then we have a variety of people who rent out office space. So we have office space rentals at $10 an hour with a $20 minimum. And we have 2 large spaces if you want to do events here that you feel would fall in line with the community. We'd be more than happy to talk with you. And that's what we do.
Awesome. And let's take our next caller, Lucinda, which is area code 509. Hello, 509.
Hello. How are you guys?
I'm fine.
Good.
How are you?
What's your name?
Good. My name is Mindy, and I'm from
Hi,
Pasco,
Mindy.
Washington. Hi.
No, great.
So I have a question. I was wondering if you guys could kind of guide me, or if you're picking up anything. I've got a trial coming up for my children, and my landlord and my ex have worked together to essentially destabilize me, to make me fail. I had found some things back in September on my daughter's phone that were pretty disturbing, and so I brought them to the court's attention, and I kept my other daughter, and they ended up restraining me from the children when I had valid concerns about my kids' safety and well-being. And so we're coming up here on trial, and I'm just wondering if you guys get anything from that as far as my living situation, my trial, if what's going to happen, you know.
Okay. Shelley, you want to go first?
Mindy, what I'm feeling is it's very important that you bring the evidence to court that you have, because this evidence is going to be very damaging to the father of your child and to the landlord, who are trying to make you look unstable. And I feel that things will turn around in your favor, but you have to bring this evidence to court.
Okay.
And that you need to report it again to family services. And you need to give this evidence to family services.
Okay.
Because it does look like things are going to turn around, and your children are going to be with you.
So now my landlord and him have worked together. My landlord has, since I filed a federal lawsuit against her, and I tried to have her served, and she packed her stuff and moved away 2 days later to try to avoid service. So she's gone now. However, my what was I trying to say? So I forgot. I lost my train of thought. I think I'm losing my mind.
You got excited, yes.
I did, and I got overexcited, and then I just went blank.
That's okay.
What happened there? So the landlord took off.
Is there a piece of evidence that you have not submitted because you didn't think that it was necessary?
I don't know. I oversubmitted
so let me ask
my
you a
problem.
question. Let me ask you a question. Was there a prompting that caused you to look at the phone?
Yes, there was, and that's part of the
and
record. I've made 300-page doc. I mean, I've put everything in chronologic order in a 300-page document. But it kind of gets overwhelming and it gets confusing. But he was and she admits to a lot of it at the school, but then she goes, when the police start investigating and start talking to my oldest daughter, she she gets scared and says she's afraid of going home, but then when the police come, her dad's there, and so she's intimidated, so she's going to make the best of the situation, and she's not going to tell on him. So from then on out, it was robotically rehearsed that nothing was going on.
Okay. All right.
But she had lost her phone, and I went over to help her find it, and that was the only reason that I had even accessed her phone, was because she had lost it, and I was able to access her account based on her giving me her password.
Mhm.
So it's crazy. I mean, I believe something happened to her. I really don't know what happened to her, but this content she was looking at was suggestive of the father. And so when I brought it to his attention, he diminished, or he didn't ask what was found. He hasn't done anything to try to correct the behavior or discipline or set guidance, boundaries on the internet. He's given her more free reign to run with friends and spend 14 nights in a row at friends' house on school night. I mean, it's just not being a parent.
Okay.
So
all right. What I do see is that there is, like, I just want to pull a couple more cards for this particular situation. So it's fated that this would happen, right? But it looks like it's going to be like the situation is going to become slowly favorable. So you're moving into smoother waters at this particular point, even though you have the court, the trial coming up. So even though you have the trial coming up, you're sitting in a really good position yourself, but it looks as though, are you moving?
Well, that's the thing. She sold me, my landlord had sold me a place that should have been condemned. It was supposed to be removed. And I had a fire in the house starting, so I called the city. They condemned it, and so I'm kind of in limbo because I've got all these different court cases going on, and I don't have time to look for another place, and I've got liens against properties. I mean, she shut my business down, and then his sister-in-law is going to represent him now because his attorney dropped him, so she's done a lot of orchestrating as far as racketeering against me, with people.
Okay. So so here's how it appears, that you're in the middle of several spiritual lessons, right? That's what we call them if there's a lot of major arcana that come up, spiritual lessons. But I saw the move, and it feels like everything's crumbling down around you. And it's like the tower, literally. Like you're in this space where, like, things are just like, it's all on fire and everything, and it's crumbling to the ground. But understand that what comes after that is that you get to clear the rubble away, and everything will move forward. But what's influencing you is something that's meant to happen. So it was meant to happen for you to find that out, so that way there would be this forward momentum. And it does involve your child. And it has not been, it's been like a head game for you with the father. Is that correct? And then okay. And so in this, your intellect, all right, and tenacity is requiring great strength that you possess. So rely on yourself, because you're doing a really good job of, it just feels like there's like a lot of moving parts for you right now. Pay attention to your intuition. Pay attention to your intuition, because there's nuances that are coming to you. Like when Shelley had started to talk to you and tell you about taking like the evidence with you, you need to safeguard it, because I think there's more at play than what you know. And I also think that there is going to be new action in the future. So it does lean toward you having the children back with you, but you'll have to secure a place, a home, a place for them to come to, right? Yeah. And so there's some footwork for you to do. So that's only going to add to what you're doing, but know that once that takes place, okay, but pay attention to your intuition, and trust yourself, because you're making good, sound judgments, okay, but you're also your own worst enemy. Okay.
I am.
So you need to make sure. Yeah. So you need to make sure that the information that you receive stays in front of you. You don't want it. You don't want to eat it, right? You don't want to ingest it and make it part of you because it doesn't belong to you. So what you want to do is you want to keep the information in front of you so that way you can look at it like a catalog and file it and say, oh, okay, well, because you're good at the organization of it, right? So you don't want to say, ooh, that's part of me. I own that. That's my part. None of it's really your part at this particular time. There are actions and situations that are around you. So if you could just step back and become more the observer in this particular situation, solution will flow in because there's solution that is trying to get in there, but you're looking at what if this happens. So you don't want to look at that aspect of it. You want to just put the information there and be as emotionally stable or not detached, but you want to be in control of your emotions. You don't want to be ruled with your emotions because your emotions are they're your energetic indicator of what your experience is, okay? So they're really good. Yeah. Yet you want to also make sure that you're not ruled by them. Look for balance in that, okay? So as you look for balance, what happens? That's my biggest challenge. Yeah. Well, of course, right? But know that you have... Yeah, they want you to be a robot, in essence, and I'm just, like, so attached that I can't separate. It's hard for me to separate that. Yes, it might be difficult, but the thing is that when the court sees somebody who's impassioned, okay, then they understand that they're not in control of all their proposed faculties, that they're not in their logical state of mind. And if you're not in your logical state of mind, they're going to rule with the person who seems or appears to have that balance. So you must. So I'll just show up and pretend like I'm representing my third. I'll just show up and pretend like I'm representing my third person, or in third person, like this is not mine, but I'm going to advocate for it. I guess. Yeah, exactly. Because if you can do that, then the most likely outcome, because you're going through this space that's like really dark for you, and and so just know that you're feeding yourself the wrong information, that you're not enough, that this will never work. I don't know how to do this, because those are illogical thoughts, because you've already done a 300-page documentation of what's taken place, and it's in chronological order. So you know what you're doing. You know how to go about it. You just need to trust the process and know that you do have this well of strength inside of you that you can tap into and bring forward at any given time, stronger than you think you know. Okay? Oh, I know that. I look at my situation. I'm like, how have I not just put a gun to my head? Like, I don't understand what I'm doing here still. Like, anybody else would be like, oh, my gosh. But I just keep looking tunnel vision through each piece, and I'm just, like, going for the goal. Yeah. But you do need to secure a place to live so that way you have some place to bring them home to. Because for lack of a better reason, they'll give the children to the individual that has a stable environment so that they can not have to cause burden to the care system in the state, right? Yeah. So, there's a checks and balance system that they're going to look at. And so you need to get all of that stuff together for yourself. How is that going to even happen? I don't even know where to. Do I stay where I'm at and try to make that work, or do I go somewhere else? I mean, like you said, you're in a condemned building, so no, I wouldn't stay there. But I would definitely. It just needs visit. It needs an electrician, and it just needs some, mold removal and stuff. I mean, there's just minimal things, but this place has been just a nightmare since I've been here. Right, and do you own that building? I do. Okay, so you own the building, it's condemned, you're living in it, and the court is going to look at it as such. So is this something that by the time the court case would come to trial, you'd be able to rectify all of that? I would have to talk to the owner of the property, because the landlord's gone now, and she did a lot of horrible things to me. She served my neighbor with my restraining order paperwork. I mean, just like awful things to sabotage me, but she's gone now, so I don't know. And I know she was embezzling money from him, so
I don't know if it would be worth bringing in an electrician and maybe trying to meet and confer with him and try to resolve it. But I filed a federal lawsuit, so I mean that's in the works too. But I really don't want to litigate it. It's not really his fault. So
I understand that. But if there is somebody else who owns the property, is that correct?
Yeah, it's
and you're leasing the property, so you don't own it. Is that right? So it's their responsibility to bring it.
I lease the land.
Okay, so it's their responsibility to bring the building up to code. Isn't that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so she didn't go in and make that mold. The mold happened through neglect, right?
Yes, it did not meet the warranty.
And so the electricity didn't just one day say, "Oh, I'm so not good," right?
Right.
It has happened over a period of time, and so maybe she hasn't been there all that time, right?
Well,
for the duration.
She came in and took over the park in 2007 in December, and the other landlord is the one I spoke to, and she said that building was supposed to be removed from the park. It was not supposed to be sold. It was my understanding it was supposed to leave, but then Holly came in and sold the building to me, and I was working for her. Then as soon as she transferred title, fired me the next day, and the list goes on from there every day.
Okay, and so definitely have some things to work on. But I don't know if I would, if it was me, right? The situation that you're in order for the children to be considered placed safely, they can't come to that building. Especially with its history. It needs to be renovated to the point of safety at least. And you don't want to take them into a toxic environment.
No.
So you're living there, but what are your options, right? What are your options? So if you have a minimal amount of funding accessible to you, right, then, you want to be able to find, you want to be at least in talks with somebody who can help you facilitate the healing of the building, right?
Okay.
And even though it doesn't seem insurmountable, if you're not making any action toward that, then they're not going to be able to come back to that particular facility with you.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so you're thinking just to try to work on that place over there and get it up to, get it safe?
Is that the only place that you have to work?
Yes, because I don't.
You only have to live.
I don't have time to. I don't have time to network with friends or anything. I don't have anywhere else to go. I don't have time to even look for that.
So then, if that's the only place that you have to bring your children to, then doesn't it sound prudent, wise to be able to make it ready for them to receive them at that place?
Okay. Yeah, that seems
that's logical.
Fair. Yeah.
Right? That's logical.
So get an electrician.
So you want to step away from it, and you want to contact the city and find out what kind of programs they have. Okay?
Okay.
And then you want to contact the county and find out what kind of programs they have. There are different things that are available that a lot of people aren't aware of, right? So you just want to call the city and you want to call the county and you want to call the state.
What about a church?
You want to see what's available to you. Yeah, a church would definitely help you. If you participate in a church community, usually they'll rally around you and help you.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. That works then.
Yeah.
So what about these lean? What about this?
There's also a national number. There's also a national number. I don't know if it is available there, but I'm pretty sure it is. It is a national number. It's a 3-digit number. It's 211. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And it is, and so it's a resource that you can go ahead and reach out and you tell them what your circumstance is. You don't have to tell them the whole backstory of everything that's going on. You just say, my living arrangements are not in the best conditions. Is there a way that you could direct me to or help me with? And then they should be able to provide you with some avenues that you'll be able to access.
Okay. That's great. Okay, so do you think that with the liens that I've got for the all those condominiums for the work that I did, do you think that that's going to go through, or do you think what should I count on that or not?
When are they due?
Well, I've got to litigate it. I've got until May 20th to file a lawsuit.
And
but
so
I've got,
you just said, so you have a mixed story going, right? So there's some things that you want to argue for, some things you don't want to argue for, and then there's the property that you want to live in, but it's not ready to live in. So you have a mix of energies that are going right there. So you need to focus on something and make it correct, so that way the flow of the desire can be met, okay? Because right now you're overthinking things, and as you overthink things, your emotions get involved, but your emotions are your energetic indicator of where you're at, the experience you're having. You're becoming overwhelmed with so many irons in the fire. So my suggestion
the landlord shut my business down, and they didn't pay me. She got a hold of those people, and I did a huge job, and they owe me a lot of money, and so that's I mean, that would be what I would be living off of. So it would be, I mean, am I going to, if that's not going to go through, then I've got to have another thing. I've got to have a job. I need to start thinking about that if I can't get my business up and running again.
Right. But if you focus, okay, so I practice the law of attraction, okay? And what I've been talking about since I've been on here and noticing is that as people are calling in, the focus is on what you don't have. Okay? And when you focus on what you don't have, the only thing that can be given to you is what you don't have. So you're asking if this will come, but you're coming from a place that says you don't have. So how do you change that? How do you shift that, right? You focus on something else. So the liens right now are already in the works. You need to just trust that is going to work out. It's not going to come when you want it to come. It's going to come when you allow it to come.
Okay.
All right. So my suggestion would be to go ahead and look for another viable means of support as well. What would it hurt?
Okay. Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Right. And then that way that loosens the energy up so that it begins to flow. See how that changed?
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I do. I get that.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah. And so those are the practices that you want to kind of implement so that way you live in a state of allowance and receipt so that you're able to receive. A lot of times we don't practice receiving. Right. Right. Because you're not in a real happy place over circumstance. And, the circumstance isn't happy, right? But you're not, you don't have to rely on the circumstance to make you happy because happiness is a choice, right? You don't have to be happy about things. You could be satisfied or content, right? Or you could be disappointed or frustrated, all right? And those are softer offerings, okay? But what you want to do is you want to shift where your focus is with it and be happy while you do it, because when you make the decisions from a happy perspective, like, are you happy with you?
No, I'm getting fat on purpose.
Well, that's fine, okay? That's fine. That's like, I understand that aspect of it, okay? But the thing is, right? Because, food's not really going to attack you right now. It's doing something different for you. It's supporting you, so it's comforting you, and I get it.
It's keeping boys away from me. I'm in my head, and that's what I'm thinking. It's like, I don't want a relationship right now. I want nothing to do with that.
Okay, that's
so
fine.
I figure if I get fat, then I won't be hit on.
Okay, but here's the thing, right? When you look in the mirror, what's the story you tell?
I look like my mom, so I get kind of mad at myself.
Okay, so rather than look at the outward appearance, right? Okay, I'm going to give you an assignment, okay? There's a really good assignment, okay? So every day for the next 30 days, no matter what you do this one thing. Every day when you get up, I want you to look deeply into your eyes, into the mirror. It can be any mirror, okay? But once a day, no matter what, I want you to tell yourself, I love you. And come from your heart.
Okay.
Every day, 30 days.
I will do that.
Okay.
All right. Well, I appreciate your
so
guys'
most
time
likely
and
most likely outcome does look good, just to let you know.
Oh,
but
good.
new action is required, okay? And you really have to step into your faith, and you need to step into your strength. He's going to take new action as well. So that could be a good possibility rather than something that would be a drag. But he will be found out, okay? Just to let you know.
Okay. Okay.
And Lucinda, how can Mindy get in contact with you if she would like to have a session with you?
Oh, okay. It's 714.
Yeah.
Okay, 714. Sure, no problem.
714.
220-8351.
51.
And you can and you can keep your misery as long as you would like, but you can also let go of it. So keep that in mind, right?
Yeah, I really don't want it. I just feel like I deserve. I feel like I need it right now, just because of,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't need it though, really.
No, no, you don't, because you don't want to bring the girls into the environment either, right?
No, I don't. No, that's
right.
Definitely true. Okay.
Right.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate it.
Thank you,
You're
Mindy.
welcome, Mindy. Thank you.
All right. God bless you guys. Thanks.
You too. Bye.
I want to thank Lucinda Collis for being a guest on the Psychic Horizon show. I'll have her back in the future. And check out her psychic fair on April 20th. For those of you that might be in California, it's BOTI Studios. And I want to thank Tiffany White, Sage Women, for producing the Psychic Horizon show. And I want to thank all the callers who participated in the Psychic Horizon show. Thank you for being a guest, Lucinda.
Thank you so much, Shelley. It was enjoyable.
You're welcome, and have a good day, dear.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.